If you're watching this, chances are you're going through an incredibly stressful and confusing time. Finding yourself in family court is overwhelming for anyone, especially when it involves your child. So I want you to know this guide is here to help clear things up, to give you a roadmap for what's ahead. Let's start with the question that's probably at the front of your mind.
So let's get right to it. Why am I even here? Well, the reason you're in court is because a complaint has been filed about your child's care. That's it. Now, the court has to step in, look at the situation, and figure out if your child has been neglected or abused. Their job is to make decisions to keep your child safe while this case is sorted out. Okay, this next part is so important, and I really want you to hear this. What you're involved in is a child neglect case. This is a civil case. The entire goal here is not about punishment. It's about making sure children are safe. It is not a criminal case. Now, could there be a separate criminal case? Yes, but in this court, the family court, the focus is all on protection and getting families the support they need.
All right, so here's our game plan to make this whole thing feel a lot less complicated. We've broken it all down into 5 clear sections. We've just covered that first big question. Next up, we're going to meet the team of people you'll be working with. Then we'll go through a 10-step action plan, lay out the court's timeline, and finally talk about some really critical deadlines and your rights. Okay, first things first, you are not going through this alone. There's a whole team of people who are going to be involved. And honestly, just knowing who's who and what they do can make the entire process feel way less intimidating. So let's meet the key players.
The most important person on your team is your lawyer. You have a right to have one. Your very first step is to complete a financial eligibility interview with the CCAN office. That stands for the Council for Child Abuse and Neglect. They'll figure out if you qualify for a free lawyer who will be appointed to represent you. This person is your advocate.
All right, next you have the government's lawyer. They're called the Assistant Attorney General, or AAG for short. This person's job is to represent the Child and Family Services Agency. They're the one who will present evidence to the judge to try and prove the neglect complaint. And here's a really important rule of thumb. Never, ever speak with the AAG without your own lawyer right there with you.
Now, it's important to know that your child gets their own lawyer, too. This lawyer is called a guardian ad litem, or GAL, and their job is very unique. They have only one client, your child. Their entire focus is on representing what's in the best interest of your child. They'll talk to your child, explain things in a way they can understand, and then they'll make recommendations straight to the judge.
Then there's the social worker. The social worker kind of has 2 jobs. On one hand, they are there to help you. They'll connect you and your child with services you might need, things like therapy or parenting classes. But on the other hand, they also have to report back to the court about how you're doing with the plan and how your visits are going.
And finally, of course, there's the judge. Your case will be assigned to a single judge who will probably stick with you for the whole ride. The judge listens to everybody, you, the lawyers, the social worker, but at the end of the day, they are the ones who make all the final decisions, based on the law and everything that's presented in court. Okay, let's switch gears. This section is all about what you can do. It's the most empowering part of this whole thing because this is your roadmap. This is a clear step-by-step checklist of actions you can take to work towards getting your child back home. And here's the good news. It's not some endless, confusing list of things you have to do. It's 10. 10 clear, powerful steps you can focus on. And trust me, seeing it as a manageable list of 10 can make this whole challenge feel a lot more doable. All right, let's run through the first 5. Number 1, and this is a big one, if the court orders you to do something like a class or a program, start it immediately. Do not wait. Number 2, make reunification your absolute top priority. And how do you show that? Step 3, visit your child every single time you're allowed to. Don't miss a single visit. Which brings us to 4. If something unavoidable comes up and you absolutely have to miss a visit, call the social worker ahead of time. And 5, be proactive. Give the social worker a list of relatives who might be able to care for your child. Okay, steps 6 through 10 are all about showing up and staying in the loop. Number 6, go to every single court hearing, every meeting, be there. 7, stay in touch. Call your lawyer and your social worker at least once a week. 8, when you can, use email or text. It creates a written record of your communication. 9, follow every court order to the letter, no exceptions. And last, but maybe most important of all, Number 10, if you are confused about anything at all, ask your lawyer. That's what they're there for. So, what does this whole process actually look like from start to finish? Let's map it out. Knowing the order of events, the sequence of hearings, can really help reduce some of the anxiety because you'll have a much better idea of what's coming and when to expect it. This is basically the journey of a typical case. It all kicks off really fast. If your child has been removed from your care, you'll have an initial hearing within 72 hours. From there, the process moves to mediation, then a possible trial within about 105 days. After that, you'll have review hearings every 3 to 6 months to check on progress. All of this leads up to a really big one, the permanency hearing, which usually happens about a year into the case. I want to zoom in on two of these hearings because they're super different, but both are incredibly important. First, you've got the trial. The trial is all about the past. The judge's only job here is to decide whether or not neglect happened. The case could even get dismissed right here. But if the judge does find there was neglect, then you move to the disposition hearing. This one is all about the future. This is where the judge decides where your child is going to live and what the official plan will be for you to follow. We're in the home stretch now, and this last section contains some of the most urgent must-know information in this entire guide. Seriously, understanding these deadlines and knowing your rights is absolutely essential if you want to have a positive outcome in your case. Okay, please listen very carefully to this. Because of a federal law, it's called the Adoption and Safe Families Act, there's a clock ticking. The whole point of the law is to make sure kids don't get stuck in foster care forever. But what it means for you is a real sense of urgency. You may have only about 12 months to show the court that you're making enough progress to get your child back. This is why that first step, starting right away, is so important. Your lawyer is your most powerful ally in this whole thing, but it's a two-way street. To make that relationship work, you have to communicate openly and honestly. Give them every piece of information that might help, even if you don't think it's important. Don't just talk to them on court days. Stay in touch between hearings. And remember to tell them what you want. They're your voice in the courtroom, and everything you tell them is confidential. All right, this is one of those moments where you might want to take a quick picture of the screen. If you ever need to find your lawyer's name or number or get in touch with the office that appointed them, all the info for the CCAN office is right here. This is your go-to spot for getting that crucial legal help. So, we're going to end with a question for you. This isn't just about passively watching a video. It's about taking action. Your next big step is getting that lawyer and having your first real conversation with them. So start thinking about it right now. Thinking about this question puts you in control. What is the very first, most important question you need to ask them?